Okay. Look at what we've done. Tim's left us, so we found ourselves a little replacement. We got a little replacement boy for us.
Little.
Little.
Well, actually, we
Very
got a
little.
taller, stronger, faster Tim.
Oh, he's Tim 2.0. And it's very good that we have a version of Tim with us, because we are reviewing Wreck-It Ralph today. Everybody, welcome to Off the Chest Podcast Review. I am Wreck-It Rakesh. I got with me Wreck-It Melvin.
No, Sugar Melvin.
I like it. I don't even know who that is, but I like it.
I got Felix Anjo.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Turbo AJ, because I just went Turbo on Tim.
I like that. I like that.
He doesn't know what it means, but we do.
And I got Wreck-It Arian for me. How you doing, buddy?
He's Turbo.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, if you want to go turbo, do that on your own time. But here we have kids movie Wreck-It Ralph, starring John C. Reilly, Sarah Silverman, Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock, class actor right there, very funny. But this takes place all in a little arcade. And now there's one arcade game that has been there for eons of time, over 20 years.
30 to be exact.
That's what I just said. Thoity. And it is Wreck-It Ralph as named. And this is the one game that has managed not to malfunction or anything like that. But what you don't know is that when everyone leaves the arcade at night, they are connected via routers, and they all go into their own virtual reality. Pretty much very similar to Toy Story in that retrospect. So when everyone's gone, the characters come to life. Yes. And basically, your main person, John C. Reilly, as Mr. Wreck-It, the main villain to Fix-It Felix Jr., he's a little down. You know, he's a little upset from time to time. He's upset of being the bad guy, your main villain. So, you know what he does? He goes to AA meetings of sorts, and he likes to discuss being a bad guy with all other bad guys. And let me just say, the coolest part of this movie is it incorporates video game characters from different video games. This is a real great... This is something that a premise that I've been waiting for a long time, to see video game characters in a movie. And it's characters where I would say our generation picks up on them really well. Like, see, you have quick appearances by Sonic,
Sonic's the one you see the
Bowser.
most, though.
Sonic's only seen really quickly.
No, he was there in the board.
He was on a
he
billboard for
talked.
2 seconds.
No, he was there.
It was only a little bit.
He talks. It was a long while, man.
Anyway. Yeah, so, you know, we've got all these... So we got
So many
the
cameos.
characters from Street Fighter as well. You got Bowser, who comes in as well.
Who's in from Street Fighter?
Zangief and Vega. Vega? No, what's his name? The badass dude.
Yeah, anyway, they're very minor, because this premise takes place of, obviously, Wreck-It Ralph, the main game. And what happens one day is Ralph, he's feeling a little upset. You know, he's on his period, and he's upset with what's happening, and he decides he doesn't want to be a villain.
It's been 30 years.
Yeah, it's been 30 years. He's been working in the mines all this time, and he just wants a little break out. And basically, what happens is he wants his chance of being the hero. So what he does is he jumps through his little router and goes over to the virtual reality, to a different first-person shooter game called Heroes Duty. I think this is kind of I don't know if they're trying to do a play on Call of Duty by adding in where they specifically mention this is a first-person high-definition game, where in the arcades I'm assuming there's no other high-def games. Now, what he accidentally does is, while trying to collect a medal from Heroes Duty... Duty.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah, nice. He accidentally goes into a different video game after that. Now, the problem that lies with this is that he goes into a video game that isn't one of his own. he goes into a completely different one. And Anjo,
And if he
do you
dies
want
in
to let
that
us
game,
know what the game is?
which one are we talking about? Not Heroes Duty.
It's Sugar Rush.
Yeah, Sugar.
And
But
this,
they still don't know that that if Ralph dies in a different game, he doesn't come back at all.
the big premises of this is when the lights go off, you're free to do whatever you want, but you have to go back to your own game right away. Or, well, as soon as everyone's about to come back in. Otherwise, they report a malfunction in the game, and the machine is taken away.
And then that kills you.
Yep. And so, basically, when Mr. Wreck-It Ralph does not return, the hero from Wreck-It Ralph, Mr. Fix-It Felix Jr., goes on a hunt for him. And it turns out that they find that they've gone to Sugar Rush game. This is a game where the main character is Sarah Silverman, and you have your two main stars basically collide from that point forward. So, since we have our very sexy Tim 2.0 version 0001, let me know what you think
Which bit exactly?
of this movie. Was it Wreck-It-tastic?
It was good in that it brought in a Toy Story concept, bringing in familiar childhood characters into one collaboration. So it was just nice to see that. But instead of a hero's point of view, we saw a villain side, which was also quite interesting as well. And the fact that I guess that AA meeting right in the beginning really did give us a good perspective of how things would start off. How the movie was
For in terms of villains, how they're treated.
and how they
always
actually
mistreated.
how they take it. We know the hero side, they get the glory, the triumph, but what do the villains get in the end? And
One thing I did like was the leader of the anonymous meetings was Ghost from
yeah,
Pac-Man.
and the fact that they
Oh no, don't worry, we're doing spoiler review.
oh
It's
okay, and the fact that they held it at his area as well.
Took a
And
cherry.
you do have a really great sequence effect of where you're traveling from such a big game, such as Pac-Man, and when you see your characters leave, you see them in the appearance of that game. Like, so what I mean is you see them in graphical terms of Pac-Man itself and to where they're going. And then when they go back to Wreck-It Ralph, it kind of shows you from that perspective. But this whole thing takes place, as I said earlier, hero's duty, how Mr. Wreck-It Ralph wants to take a medal, and then he accidentally gets it into Sugar Rush. So, Anjo, what did you think
Of that.
of the movie, man? Come on.
It was very enjoyable, man. I was like, oh yes, see all my game characters. So I wish I could see some more. I wanted to see more of more of Mario.
Well, the thing is, you never see Mario at
Exactly.
all.
They mention him quite a few times, but he's mentioned, but it's never actually shown. Though you do see Princess Peach and Daisy.
And you see Bowser as well at the start in the AA.
Yeah, I know,
meeting.
in A.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, I think, in terms of this movie, what could have been done a little bit better is you have Sugar Rush, which is basically a racing game, and the whole point the whole part of when it happens at night is they're trying to do a race, and I thought it would have been cool to see like a quick appearance by Mario come in there and in his Mario. Fuck you, assholes! I win. I thought that would have been cool.
That'd be good.
But then again, it is unheard of like Mario Racing being an arcade game. So I guess that's why they didn't.
They did have Bowser in there as well. Oh, so Mario was arcade?
Yeah,
But anyway,
Mario was arcade. That's where it originated from.
When Wreck-It Ralph is in Sugar Rush area, the main character there is Vanellope von Schwedt, played by Miss Sarah Silverman. And basically, she's been casted out, even though she is the main star of this. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's a great effect of... I think what this movie does really well is it mentions its villain previously, yet you completely forget about that villain
And then they
until
bring
the
it back
big
after.
reveal.
Yeah, you're like, oh, shit.
And then it's like, oh, wait, that's who they're talking about. And to some degree, I'd say you don't feel stupid for missing out on it, because I would say that 95% of the audience didn't see that part coming.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
we didn't see that coming at all.
Come on, guys. Any negatives to give to this?
I want more cameos. Nah, but besides that, I don't think I can't really find. Well, to me, I don't see too much negativity in it.
And the whole thing about calling it the best animated film since Toy Story 3. How about that?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'm saying it's good.
It's good for what it is right
Yeah,
now.
it's
When,
good,
when
man.
it was hyped up, did you agree with it at all?
Was never in the hype.
You get a very good, cool visual effect in the third act where the bugs from Hero Duty where they come back and they're invading Sugar Rush Land, and you have your characters from Heroes Duty and sorry, I can't help it, and Fix It Felix, who are there to help out Wreck-It Ralph, and it's just this amazing visual piece of all these different colors and everything happening where it's the contrast of color fading out from Sugar Rush, but where when you first see Sugar Rush Land, it's very visually stunning. I mean, it's very bright colors, all bright blue, bright pink,
All the
all that.
rainbows.
Yeah, double rainbow, man. It did feel like, as an adult walking into that cinema, I did feel like it was that massive acid trip walking in there, seeing what I did. But in terms of, you have all these characters, and in terms of blending in well, did you feel that they did every single character? Do you think they blended in well? Each character got enough time? What do you think? In terms of story, yeah. I mean, any negative points to this really at all?
Are they actual really games, Sugar Rush and Heroes?
I believe
They're
those
all-
are
they're all
original
made up.
characters. Yeah.
Because you
And
can't
Heroes
they
Duty.
can't just take a Mario story and make it their own, or else it'll be a Mario movie, you know. So yeah,
The originality does come from these concept characters being of their own,
Yeah.
being in their own universe, but the fact that they've layered this into the universe of other arcade 8-bit, 16-bit characters as well is kind of cool. And then one point I did feel was kind of bad that I think that they could have improved on, and definitely in terms on if they do a sequel, is I think this movie takes place in present time. I'm not really too sure about it.
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
But
that's-
it says 30 years ago, later, but I don't know if
Where
30
does-
years later is modern time.
Oh, it said 2012, I believe.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
But see, one problem I have is I would have thought that they would bring in the aspect of console gaming and
you don't have
online
console-
gaming.
You don't have
And
console gaming in
Arcade,
arcades
right?
though.
Yeah.
no, I'm not talking about arcades. Like, it would have contributed towards a bit of the death of arcade.
Not really.
No.
Arcade's way before console.
There aren't as many arcades now due to console.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but like,
That's the aspect
it-
which I am
if you're
talking
gonna go with
about.
video games, arcade is the base. You know, consoles came from arcade.
I know that's the base, but I'm talking about the adaptation to consoles kind of becoming a villain in its own way because they have kind of contributed to less consumerism within that universe of arcading. That's just what I was trying to get at there.
But like, I thought, is the film based around like arcades dying out at all?
It doesn't mention it at all, but I thought that would have been something cool to have mentioned.
Seems like you're stuffing
like,
the plot with too much.
Oh no, I find it fascinating how they actually treasure arcades enough to keep them there for like 30 years, and that they'll only take them out if they have a glitch. For example, Turbo, Turbo in another game, it was only because they glitched that they took them out. Yet they decided to keep Fix It Felix,
Even though it's so old.
even though it's like 30 years old.
break, but that's one arcade specifically. Like, I'm just talking about in general how you have death of many arcades. But anyway, that's something else. That's something that you could possibly see in a sequel. That I would like to see in a sequel. I mean, it's definitely branching out its opportunities, and I felt with this movie, it missed some of the opportunities that it could have grabbed.
Example.
Well, that's one example. Another example is, as you mentioned earlier, video game characters. I mean, if you're talking in modern times, you could have like characters like Mario. You could have I don't know, maybe Pokemon characters or maybe Halo character, something like
The
that.
entire
Like,
cast of Brawl.
No, I just want them to be shown on screen. Because if you take too much game characters, then you drift away from the story.
you have these old school characters, and I'm not too sure how well kids of today are gonna identify with those older characters. I know you're saying that you think they would probably, but I mean,
I think it's better that way. If
Even
you
if-
stuff
even
it
if they
full of
did
new
not-
characters, I think the kids lose focus.
it's something for the adults and for the kids, where it's bringing in older references that adults
No, see,
will
for me,
understand.
it's like with the young references, right? I reckon kids would latch onto that too much and they'd lose track of the story. Because,
This is a
attention
kid's
span,
movie.
Whereas old people, they can just be like, oh, that's nice, and move on.
Melvin's attention span, and he's playing chess on his computer right now. My God.
Are you winning?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my next move.
Wow, he's really recording this review.
Movie's about playing games. I'm just trying to get in the mood.
He's trying to get in the mode of playing games, but you haven't seen this movie, Melvin.
Andrew.
But
Hey, Andrew, apparently I got cloned or something, Turned into you. Yeah,
is there any questions that
it seems pretty straightforward to me. It seems like a decent flick. I don't know whether or not it's worth all the hype. I'll have to check it out. And, after what you guys have said and after all the praise it's got in general, I definitely will.
I don't feel as enthusiastically as everyone, and especially hearing when you say that somebody compared it to Toy Story 3. I don't see it in that sense, mainly because of what it did fall through with and what it didn't accomplish. But that
it's
being
all the
said,
game
it
references.
did accomplish a lot in terms of its gaming style and all
Hey,
that.
look, man, if Ice Age can make $900 million, I'm sure this movie must be pretty decent, alright?
Speaking of, the budget for this was 165, and its box office, I do believe this is worldwide. It made 277 million. So obviously it's made budget, so I'm sure that distributors would be happy to do a number 2.
It's a bit difficult to see it as a number 2 because they closed it off really well.
Did they? They have like a massive,
I
like a
mean,
decent
you had
conclusion?
the main antagonist Turbo and the reference of Turbo, like going Turbo, and then they closed it off with like even the one, I guess the homeless game characters, they had a place in the end.
See, you can always end the movie like that, but there is always...
That's cool, it's cool. No, it's cool. All I'm thinking is, like, a lot of movies end with, like, gigantic conclusions. Like, consider Avatar. That ended with a gigantic conclusion. The Blue People, Avatar. And they got another 2 movies coming out after that, And a prequel, number 4, yeah.
What?
I'm
Ah!
just,
Oh
I'm
my
just saying,
God.
like, in terms of conclusions, you can keep going on.
You can have movies like Matrix 1...
It's got to have a new
Oh, yeah.
villain come in.
the
That's
the
it.
first parts. There's plenty of story parts that I do believe, like, in terms of the whole story behind Vanellope, with her character, I thought that when they fixed her, it would have fixed her storyline up completely, but it doesn't fix up her storyline completely. I mean, I don't want to say too much away, but
I know what you mean, but I don't think it would have restarted her. It just restarts the world. And they're...
it restarted the world, but I thought that would have restarted everything. If you're restarting a game, that would have reset
Every...
all the code,
So you think
the
you forget
entire
everything?
code. And for the problem that this character had to begin with, for that to stay there after its conclusion, that could be a plot for another premise to open up, where maybe, say, one person notices that problem. Trying to say this without giving too much.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Melbourne won in chess.
No,
Hallelujah.
I got checkmated. I took more pieces as well.
Well, that's what you get for wrecking our review. Anything else you two want to add to this?
Not particularly. Yeah, people should watch it. It's a good movie.
Alright, guess that's a wrap.
Hold on, before we do. Yeah, but I want to know ratings from everyone. This got an 8.1 on IMDb, so...
Yeah, 8.1.
definitely good,
I'd
yeah.
go, I would go for 8 as well.
I'd actually agree for 8 as well.
Rakesh?
Oh, hold on, just... Arian, I want to know your number and why. And just kind of backing up your reasons why you want to give it just an 8, and reasons why you're not giving it that 2 extra
Yeah,
up.
fair enough. It's just that I guess I expected more out of the cameos. I just wanted a bit more interaction with the cameos, and the good part about it is it did manage to keep me stuck on the screen. It didn't really have me dozing off, and it didn't have me questioning the story as well. So it had a lot of the elements keyed in there, and you didn't lose track of a lot of things. But yeah, like I said, the cameos, there was a lot of potential that they could have added in, but then you also have the fact that you only have so much screening time, and you don't want to stray off the story too much. So I can also get that, but it just seemed to be missing some key elements.
Did you feel at all some, like, with your main protagonist, him being an antagonist, and how he's ruining basically his own game to where they may no longer be there anymore? So you know how he leaves and then they put the service sign on. Do you ever feel at all like, oh, come on, man, that's kind of like a dick move? But did you expect it, considering he was the villain, and that? So basically, you were rooting for him the entire time.
Well, yeah.
But was there any point where you were drawn away from that character?
I did admit that he was being a bit dickish, but then I mean, 30 years of all that
Villainy.
neglection.
There is villainy afoot.
No, but his villainy also. I mean, it was just his program to be like that, but really he was just a nice guy, and yet he wouldn't be included in any of the game's festivities and any of the anniversaries. And he just lived in a junkyard, literally.
Yeah, man, these guys in Wreck-It Ralph, they are the real dicks, man. They're throwing parties, and they don't even invite him. They don't even invite
And he
him to
literally
the
lives in a
party.
dump, like literally
He does.
in a dump.
He lives in an actual dump where all the bricks that he breaks, he uses that as his blanket to sleep in.
Pillow's a stump.
Boy, did they wreck his soul.
So I mean,
so-
to even still have that, just to stick with them for 30 years, and to even go like, you know what? Instead of leaving, I'm gonna prove you guys that I want to be a hero. And he goes out to get a medal instead of goes turbo. So yeah, so that's why 8.
And Joe.
Yeah, go for it as well. Because it's a good storyline. The plot. There's no plot holes really in it. It's all smooth transition. What can you think of any?
No, I'm not gonna go in terms of that too much, but
Yes,
yeah.
there is one plot hole. How did Turbo know the key code to the program?
No, he jumped into it.
Remember with the game with the NES,
Yeah.
he had access to get into the vault of the code, so he was able to go into the code and change the code up. But I would say that in terms of that is a bit of a it seems really easy. It's an easy plot device but it's understandable because this is a kids movie.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta make
Fair
things
enough.
fast. You gotta take things. You don't want things to go too long because it's a kids movie and kids are they doze off. They're
It's
like,
not Wreck-It Inception, it's Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, fair enough.
Andrew, anything to add? I mean, as for just giving it an 8, those two whole other points. I mean, aside from cameo
as
appearances,
good as I thought it was. I don't know. You want more of it as well.
yeah. But this movie I thought it was pretty long. I mean, it's 93 minutes, so it's over an hour.
And I also like the game references they all have, like pretty good.
I'm pretty much there. I'm close to 7.5 for this. What I did enjoy was the relationship between Fix-It Felix and the Jane Lynch's character, the sergeant. I did enjoy that, and her whole subpart to that. How,
Dynamite gal.
yeah, she's a dynamite gal.
Dynamite gal.
There was definitely a lot of, visually speaking, this is visually stunning as all anyway, but parts that I do think that don't warrant me to give it a higher mark is obviously the way it portrays its cameos, even though the whole purpose of a cameo is just for, it's like, it's 10-second hello, and then, never to return, but like, even referencing, and just some parts of the story where I thought where they're in the Sugar Rush land, I thought, for me personally, that was too long. They spent too long at that point. But they could have ventured off into different things and introducing. I think they could have introduced different things, but yeah. So Melvin, at least we've convinced you while playing chess that
You should watch Wreck-It
you
Ralph.
should watch this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat. I was previously convinced in a way, but yeah, you guys reaffirmed it.
Oh, one bit I did not expect throughout the movie was, for a whole Disney movie, the whole point is about a princess, usually.
Oh, this does have a
Yeah,
princess.
yeah. That's the thing. I completely forgot about that throughout the movie until the end when I saw that, well, the whole princess reference. That's when I went, oh, completely forgot Disney movie and princesses.
Although, wouldn't she be a king? Or like a
Well,
queen
no,
or
it's
something?
like all
I
about
don't
like a
see
princess in danger. Yeah,
It's been a while since I've seen.
a lot
this.
of Disney movies were a lot more.
Yeah, it's been
It's
3
called
months,
DID.
2-3 months since I've seen this movie.
You get
So
that
it's-
reference? DID? Hercules, Damsel in Distress.
Damsel in distress.
Never mind.
This is definitely a great new franchise to break into in terms of gaming as well. I think it's definitely a great stepping stone, and I'm looking forward to more if they do it. I mean, I know I've been criticizing a lot of this film, but I feel like I have to kind of be the bad guy in this sense.
You do want to, it's a good movie, but you want more out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's ways where it did let me down, and just seeing from the trailer, that gives your cameos away. But that's a whole thing of trailers. I have a problem with trailers anyway. But anyway, everyone, thank you for listening to this. If you did, please give it a like, hit subscribe. You know what? While you're at it, share this video, please, and also give us a like on Facebook. And thank you very much. Thank you for listening, everyone. Adios.